Alright, here we go. Okay, so I've got some response from Dr E Hiccups. It's a middle-aged woman who really likes African American racing car drivers. She keeps profusely messaging me on Instagram. She's extremely desperate for my attention. I'm going to give it to her because I'm a good man. So here we go. So here the first comment is scientists! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. University professors, full stop, space. Educated people, full stop. Come on, Chevy. You're not going to tell me that these guys' qualifications don't mean anything, full stop. Dude, full stop. Look up prejudice. Okay, so let's critique this first message here. So far, it's pretty powerful words. I feel very, very touched. Okay, so scientists. To think scientifically is an extremely difficult task. One of the most difficult tasks you can possibly do. And these scientists, they're constantly getting reviewed by other scientists, right? And just because they've got a degree in something, it doesn't mean that when they drive to 7-Eleven and buy a donut, that's not scientific. When they make love to their wife, when they take out the trash, when they hire someone to kill their wife, that is not necessarily a scientific activity, right? So if you're going to get one article and then base your entire perception on a group of people, that's what's called prejudice, okay? Now, I've actually been to university, a Bachelor of Science and Bachelor of Psychological Science. Yeah, I didn't finish it, as you can tell by how much I mumble, because I'm a fucking idiot. But the basis of science is that you have to be constantly regulated, right? So just because someone comes from university, it doesn't mean that she's be-all, end-all, respect them. You have to think critically. Scientists are the most critical of each other. And when you think of scientists, you're thinking of someone with test tubes and a white coat, you know, like with a Bunsen burner, heating up some kind of alcohol-based liquid and then transferring it, you know, with the intention of some ethical, responsibility to better humanity, right? But Dr. E Hiccups, you've based your entire argument on one article. And if you write an essay in a university, you'd have to look up 20 articles. And so you've cherry-picked one piece of information and then base your entire perception of reality based on one article. Do you see how that may be a little bit unethical? Okay, so educated people. So with the internet now, someone who's works at a petrol station in Wyoming, they can be more educated than a professor who has to sell their vagina on the street to pay for their mortgage payments. I know in the United States of America, a lot of people working in universities are not very well paid. So also, I actually, when I did Creativity and Innovation, a foundation unit at Medical University, there was a woman there. She was doing her PhD in photography. So are you telling me that someone's got a PhD in photography, should I just just respect them? Should I just give them my liver if they ask it to? And so, can you see that you want to hate these people? Like, you want to hate them. Like, you have a desire in your heart to spread hate. Okay. I mean, just looking at one of your pictures, I can tell that you're very, very hot. Very, very, very hidden with your image. Like, you've got a lot of these nebulous photos of your cats, but I see one of them and you're extremely overweight. And that's a really big burden on taxpayers because we had to pay for it when you had to get your fucking heart surgery. You understand? Because if you're a fat cunt, we had to pay for your surgery because you just keep shoving these fucking fatty foods into your mouth. Like, just trying to just make up for this God-shaped hole inside your heart, right? So taxpayers are paying for that. Sorry? Okay. Okay, so I see where you're coming from. Yes, you know what? There's always two sides to every story. It takes two to tango. So of course, there are parts of this study who are totally correct. There is some people at those protests who had malicious intentions. But then again, if you go to an apple field and you pick 1,000 apples, I guarantee you 2 or 3 out of those are going to have a couple of rotten worms inside them. You can't expect there going to be 1,000 saints in any room at one time. And also think about how our needs haven't been met. We've been in social isolation, which is the highest form of torture. In prison, it's the worst of the worst people, like the people that have raped and killed and eaten like 10, 20 children, and then they try and stab someone in the eye just for stealing their cupcake in prison. They go in solitary confinement away from other people for like a week. But we've been in there for 2 years. So honestly, Dr. E Hiccups, give yourself a pat on the back and have a cupcake, love, because you've done really well to get through that. Like solitary confinement, like what Daniel Andrews has done when he sold out our nation to the Chinese Communist Party, is that he's put us through a hell of a lot of torture. And so if you survive this, you're a fucking tough bitch. And yeah, keep it up. And so, and prejudice, yes. So because your needs haven't been met, my needs haven't been met. Right now, we're in this tribal way of thinking. We're either like team left or team right. And so I hate being inside teams. I'm a lone ranger. I've been alone since I was a kid, and I'll die a loner. Okay, but I like that. But right now, I lean towards right-wing ideology, because the left-wing ideology has been hijacked by universities with the intention of like this Lenin-Marxist ideology, which is a form of propaganda which started with KGB over the Western world, because they realize youth, when they're supple minds, when they're just kids, they're so easily controlled. It's not hard to control a supple mind. Like if you have a charismatic person, it's extremely easy to manipulate young, impressionable minds, especially when they're on 15 types of medication. Okay, here's the second comment. I'll let you read it first. So, I'm pretty sure that you benefit from many things in life that have been invented by qualified people. So why now does everyone want a question qualifications of professionals from reliable and honourable sources? Okay, again, Dr. E Hiccups, I like to explain that a scientific study can never make something true. It can only falsify other options. So nothing is ever seen as true and just. And every study has been reevaluated and peer-reviewed and checked every couple of years. So nothing is ever sacred and just for eternity. I even heard that Einstein's theory in the black hole has been recently critiqued. So you take everything with a grain of salt, right? You got to have critical thinking. You can't just sit there and be like, oh, well, the man in the laboratory told me this, so I got to do this. I don't think about it, okay? The people in the laboratory told me to do this, so I do this. But you have to think, though, what studies are funded is what's going to be pushed. And if you're overweight, you're going to be like a bit slow. So you're going to be more likely to just stick with like 7, 9, 10, ABC, SBS with your main sources of news. And most of those are private entities. And if you follow the money, if you look it up, most of the private shareholders come from the Communist Republic of China. So there's vested interest in keeping the corporate media extremely like tight and like and they really like just want to slit the throat of any independent journalist because it's cutting on their grass. And you have to think, the fifth estate, the media, it's a for-profit business. It's not an ethical source of just like, I am true and just. My entire purpose is to give informed consent to the public, and I'm just here purely from my heart, just to give. I just want to give. Thing is, most of these corporate journalists are on a hell of a lot of medication. They're doing coke. They're all fucking each other. They're fucking the cops. They're fucking the judges. So take everything with a pinch of salt. So yes, I'm pretty sure I benefit from lots of things in qualified people. Yes, do. Thank you so much for Steve Jobs. Thank you very much for ordering these people. Like, Thank you for putting some fucking sense in these people to make these beautiful machines, like this iPhone, this beautiful MacBook. It's given us the ability so I can access Jordan Peterson, I can access Black Sabbath on my YouTube video. I can find my girlfriend online. You know, I met her, and it's only when I was online dating for like a couple of months. I met her. She's the best thing that ever happened to me. I wouldn't trade her for a fucking $1 billion, mate. She's fucking amazing. So thank you. And thank you to the scientist. My little brother, he had a staph infection, right? He went to Darwin, he had a staph infection. He had his, like, big chunk of his arm removed, right? He had this huge infection. Those GPs, those surgeons, oh, mate, I love you. You're good people. Good people. Good on ya. Good on ya. But, you know, if I'm getting surgery, I'll go to a surgeon. But if I'm basing my opinion about what's happening with all the protests in the city, I'm not going to base that off one article. I'll respect that article. I'll take it from that. But I'm not going to, like, just marry that article. I'm not going to think that whoever wrote that, I'm not going to give my eggs to that. I'm not going to breed. I don't want to make little Chevy babies that article, you know? So again, this generalization, woman, you need to hit some cardio because your brain is just fogged. There's generalizations. I'm pretty sure that you benefit from question the qualifications of professionals. Question the qualifications of why does everyone question the qualifications of professionals? Well, that's the entire basis of scientific analysis, is to question. The idea to sit back and consume, I mean, maybe that's what you like to do, but some of us we have a critical thinking in universities. Critical thinking, love. There is, in fact, a direct correlation between a lack of education and intellect and the ability to grasp new concepts. I'm not sure why that is so hard to believe. Here comes from a lack of understanding, and that is what we have seen with COVID, pure and simple. Also, you're assuming that I don't have any experience in science or pathology of infectious disease. Well, you haven't told me. I mean, you're hiding behind your thing. Like, I'm the one who's filming myself. You're too much of a fucking scaredy cat to even show your face. I mean, where's your guts? Where's your courage? Where's your leadership skills? We're all stuck at home, right? And so why don't you have the guts to make a video? Like, you're hiding behind your thing, okay? So how am I supposed to know what you do? Because you're just jumping down my throat with this abuse without even talking to me like a human being. So there is in fact, okay, where's your study? You're just throwing these things out there. Lack of understanding, and that is what has been seen. Okay, so you're assuming, okay, I'm not sure what it is that you guys want. It doesn't matter if you have the facts. It seems you just want to make it all up yourselves, even though you're not qualified to. I wonder if any of you guys go to doctors. I mean, I'm not sure who you think I am. I've been a very good person. I've been a mental health support worker. I've given my life to care for schizophrenics and people with bipolar disorder and depression and eating disorders and autism. I work for children. I work for elderly people. And I'm not really sure, like, what do I have to do to not realize I'm a fucking piece of scum to you? I mean, do I have to, like, just sit at home and eat 1,000 cupcakes every day and just yell at people? Would that make you, is that a good person? Should I just shove dairy down my face? Would that make me a good person? Have the facts. I mean, what do you mean? Like, what is a fact? Okay, I've been, I don't know, what are you even coming from here? Like, what kind of box are you trying to put me into? I don't really see where you're coming from. Like, see, that's what the problem is. Because you're hiding behind your keyboard, I don't know what you're trying to say here. If you had, like, a logical argument, like a conversation, like, I can see your body language and stuff. If even a Zoom chat, so other people can watch and get involved, then I can understand where you're coming from. Right now, I have no idea what you're trying to say. Make it up. I mean, I'm not sure why you put in this category with other people. Like, I don't identify with anyone. Like, anyone who went to those protests, I don't give a fuck about those people. None of those people, I never met them before. I wouldn't go to that shit, okay? Because you know why? I know you're only as strong as your crew's weakest link. So I'm not going to go to something where there's people that I don't know and like, because I don't want to be identified in that group of those people, okay? I'm a lone ranger, I'm a man with no name. I don't go out there and because I have big intentions in mind. Maybe I want to run this country one day, okay? I don't want to have to have my reputation tarnished by just, like, going out and waving some kind of poster and being like, Danielle's a dick. Yeah, everyone knows that, okay? I'm sorry, generalization. I mean, people who are critical thinking. I don't go to doctors, no, because you have a wealth of information at your fingertips. So first of all, I'm 30 years old. I'm in shape, okay? And I feel good. I feel fantastic. I feel strong. I feel healthy. My teeth are good. Like everything's working fine. Like, I mean, I think I'm doing okay. Sorry. Fear comes from a lack of understanding. Fear what you don't understand. I fear nothing. Do I look scared to you? I wonder if the government, okay, you have to understand, it's not just Kevin Rudd who you know and love. There's thousands of little bureaucracy, like little staff in Canberra. It's too many, and they all have a say in it. So you cannot say, like, you have to mind it very big when you're encompassing the government. Okay, it's tens of thousands of people involved. So it has to be 1% of all people are psychopaths. So that means 1% of the people in Parliament are psychopaths. That means that 1% of the government needs a lot of work. I wonder if the government had nothing to do with COVID now, how the population would receive it. If you turn off your TV right now, just to have a look outside, like, it's a lot different to what if you look at these like corporate for-profit media companies project to you. And there's a hell of a lot of independent journalists out there who you can look at their faces, you can see if they're genuine, and you can follow the money trail, and you can ask them questions, and not so protected with these little 2-minute segments with ad breaker, Kleenex, spray and wipe, you know, Dunkin' Donuts, McDonald's, alcohol, period pains, Nurofen, get it in ya, Kentucky Fried Chicken and a Pizza Hut, McDonald's. Every 2 minutes you have to go an ad break. So it's more just about purchasing these deep fried soybean oil refined like fish fillet with like 7 types of mayonnaise in there, just to block your spiritual connection to high consciousness, you know, all that crappy fatty foods and all this medication, all the booze and all this Mazda RX 650s, you know, all these toys that keep you in the rat race. So buy more shit, keep yourself distracted, yeah, buy more shit. Polio vaccine, dude, everyone's gotten so obsessed with this shit. Also, all these, you know, the thing is, everyone I've seen who's obsessed with this is always a fat fucking ugly cunt. At religion, well, God is a concept invented by man. Unlike Jesus, you existed and was a real person. But this fantasy about heaven and hell and talking to the sky, asking for help, is just absolutely preposterous. Neil deGrasse Tyson, the guy that's accused of sexual offending, like, the guy's like, yeah, fucking take it, bitches. So he's like, yeah, I'll charge $100, talk about, you know, I went to his live performance, right? And he's like, he spent 15 minutes in this discussion. You know, if you get every single grain of sand, right? Every single grain of sand all over the world, right? From the beaches. You got all the grains of sand in the world, and you pick them up, right? Every single grain of sand, and you threw them into the sky, right? There would still be more stars than what there would be grains of sand. So, like, there's a lot of stars because there's, like, even more stars than what there is grains of sand in the ground. Like, the universe is really big, right? So that's basically, like, half of his fucking speech is like that. Yeah, he might be a good person, but a great place to start, dude, he's kind of like not a huge deal. I mean, Jordan Peterson, now that's a great place to start, love. And also, actually, before that, I would go to a naturopath, I would go to a nutritionist, I would go to a physiotherapist, I would go to a personal trainer, I would go to a clinical psychologist, and also I would go to church, I would go to a book club, I would go to the tennis club. Start with those things, because the internet, it's a business, it's for profit, right? And you're going to be stuck on there. It's just, and it's confirmation bias. All of your values are going to be confirmed back to you. So you're going to get cocooned into your way of thinking. Can you see how it's a trap? That's why it's really good for me. Like today, I just spent like 3 hours chatting to like a dozen old people. Like they're all like 80 years old, because I went to the church for the second time in my life. Like my whole life, radical liberal parents. Like female West Australia, like, you know, long hair. Yeah, man, Led Zeppelin. Like my body's a temple. So I was super atheist, right? Like didn't believe anything, like except for like art, okay? So I've been to church twice in all my life, and I just spent like 2 hours today just like chatting, being friendly, and having a cups of tea with like old ladies and shit. I don't think I'm really the devil for doing that. I don't think I'm like disgusting scum just because I wanted to chat to old ladies and have a good yarn. Like, I mean, I think everyone has so much wisdom. If you're just stuck at home, just eating Tim Tams all day, and like looking up racing car drivers, I mean, you're gonna get stuck in that little world, honey. And again, you're just putting all religions in one category. And who's talking to the sky? I mean, you're the one who's talking to, like, you're typing on your computer because you're too afraid to talk to me. Like, you know, you're too afraid. But anyway, look, I apologize for being a bit drastic, but like I said, my needs haven't been met. You know, I've been socially isolated. I haven't visited my father in years. I haven't visited my sister in years. I haven't visited my mother in years. Okay, and also I had a falling out with my mum, right? And like I can't. Okay, I'll leave it there. Anyhow, I hope you have a great day, and yeah, I love you.